Hello and welcome to the OK Dance Show. I am so excited that you are joining us today. I am Titia Owens, the Madre.
Hey y'all, I'm Chyna Elizabeth, the daughter. Welcome back to the show.
Your hair is cute.
Thank you. So is yours.
Bracelets and stuff. I was like you touching on it and stuff. I was like, oh, it's cute.
Thank you.
What you do to it?
Curled it.
Okay.
That's
well, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Today, y'all, we've been dealing with a lot of ending of things, right? You know, kind of ending of life, ending of relationships, things like that. So today we want to talk about exiting life. And that's kind of a subject that most people don't dare to discuss just because they don't want to get into it. But I feel it's necessary to talk a little bit more. We've kind of touched on it on a couple of our shows, just mentioning some things, but I thought we should go ahead and dive in and have a conversation about it. So we're going to do just that. And so what that means is we all know at some point we are going to die. Yeah. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Death is going to come at some point. So because we know that, I believe we should go ahead and have a conversation about it, and we should talk about preparation, discussing things that we know we would like to see happen, or plans that we could possibly have. So we're going to get into that, Chyna. So I know personally for myself, I have thought about those things, and I have communicated to my children as well as some of my family and friends about the desires that I have. But I've never asked my daughter that. I don't know if she's kind of thrown out things, but I don't know if she's ever had that conversation with me. So have you thought about that, Chyna, at all? Like, have you thought about any particulars that you will want to happen at this point in your life? I mean, of course, we're not looking that death be around the corner or anything like that, but we are just talking about future plans.
No, for sure. I have thought about it, but not so much. I feel like, being that we've been to so many funerals, I've been thinking about like what color I would have, because everybody's been doing like a blue or something like that. So I'm thinking maybe
blue is a good color.
No. I was thinking maybe like more neutral colors. I would probably want to do like just creams and stuff in that nature. And of course, black too.
Okay. So you would want nudes, creams, and blacks.
Yes.
Okay. Like for flowers and things of that in the room.
Yes.
Okay.
And for what people wear.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah. Because that's what I was saying. The wardrobe. Everybody has been wearing different colors they've been told to wear.
You're right.
So I'm like, what color would I want? So I would do the neutrals in black, of course, because black is like the main, what everybody just goes to if they don't have a color.
Correct.
So yeah. And then
I just want to say that's really great, because I didn't have that in my mind when we were talking about this, but you immediately go to fashion. But go ahead.
Because we've been to a few funerals in the past few weeks.
Got it.
And so everybody has had a color.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, like what they're wearing.
No.
All the family wears a color.
You're right.
And, you know, so I'm like, what color would I want?
That's good.
I kind of contemplate, though, if I would want to be seen. I feel like I probably wouldn't. But at the same time, I don't really care.
Right.
Like, it's not a big thing for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it to be super long. I want it to be a celebration, of course. And yeah, I think that's all I can really
put your mind on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You can take time to think about it. You don't have to know everything in advance.
For sure.
But it is because we have been to at least 4 funerals in the last 60 days.
Yeah.
And so it's at the forefront for me, just thinking about the different details, as well as hearing what people are saying about some of the people who have gone on. It's amazing that I have heard anything from this person was so Christ-centered, loving, kind. If it hadn't been for this person, I wouldn't have known the Lord. 2, this person was hot-headed. He was not a nice person. He was always angry. So that made me also think about what I wanted to leave behind.
For sure.
As far as my own reputation. And you have something to do with that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, too, we can kind of get a glimpse of what that'll be. Just because when it comes to you and we have like a birthday celebration or something like that, you always have people tell you what has Chyna done for you? What has she done impactful in your life? How has she been a blessing to you? So I feel like in our family, I don't know about y'all's family, but we got a little glimpse of what they'll say, and I think so far so good. Like I don't think we have too much to be worried about.
Well, but it's not so much being worried about. I'm not necessarily saying personally. I'm saying people in general.
Yeah.
I purposely would pray that I am living in such a way that there are worthy and kind words to be said about me, but I want them to still be genuine.
For sure.
Because of how I've been to other people. And that's what I'm saying. These were genuine conversations that people were saying, and some people were trying to find nice things to say about the person. And I thought, oh my Lord, I would not want to be in that situation. Now, again, I have grown and made some changes. But if I were to look back at my past and think about some of the relationships that I've had, or even some of the mistreatments that I've done to other people, if I had gone during that time, it could have been a variation of conversation of what people said about me. I would pray that at this point that I have learned different things as far as how to treat people, how to talk to people, how to serve people, for sure, where those things would be true, that somebody would say kind things about me. But it matters how you treat people. That's all I was saying.
Definitely. I agree. It's very, very, very true. After just hearing some of the people at different ones and literally trying their hardest
to be kind,
to be saying something, it was like they would say something kind of mean and then they'd back it up, but like he was such a kind heart.
It was confusing.
It was a little back and forth. So was he nice, or I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't want that to be the case at my funeral either. I would hope that it would be all good things. I mean, we all have our flaws and things of that nature, but we ain't finna harp on that on my funeral.
Lord help. We hope not.
No, for sure.
Right. And we're going to have Tanti come on because she wrote a book about this, Leaving a Legacy. And she won't be on here today, but we're going to have her come on soon because this is kind of more of what we're talking about right now. Just the things that you prepare for when you're leaving something behind. And so let's talk more about the preparation still, just in that, just say, for instance, whether you know when you're leaving here or not. Some people get warnings by sickness or what have you, where they're given time, so to speak, to plan. Or some people feel like they've reached a certain age in their life where they're supposed to start planning. And I'm just saying, let's just start now. People are leaving here
left and right
at all ages and all speeds. So I just felt like we need to have that conversation while we're really thinking through it. And one of the things is just planning a funeral service. Planning a funeral service, finding out who you want to speak about you, who you would like to do the services for the body, the funeral home that you would like to have serve you, the church that you, or the facility where you want to have the service. All those things. If you want somebody to sing, if you want somebody to read a poem, whatever it is that you want to happen, if you want a video played, if you want guests there doing specific things, this is the time to have those conversations. Would you think?
I agree, definitely. Also, even with funerals, I think just like wills and like insurance and having some type of, not necessarily a savings for it, but like even with just life insurance sets you up for when you do pass.
Correct.
And making sure that you lay out what you want, because a lot of these people be leaving and having so many things, so many possessions, and that becomes a whole nother thing with your family ignorant.
Right. And greedy.
Yeah, and greedy. Ooh, it's gonna be too much. You just don't want to have to go through that and put them through that.
Correct.
Just because you didn't want to do the work of figuring out where all of that was gonna go.
Yeah, that's definitely a conversation that needs to happen within the family. Finding out, or you making sure that it is written. I would say, people talk about wills, but I'm hearing even now that a trust is more valuable than a will, because the trust makes sure that those things go where they're supposed to, where a will, things can still go into probate, and there can actually be a fight about it, and you end up losing more than what you had when you first began.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So I would say become more educated about a trust and see what that actually means. Because again, you want to make sure that what your requests are, that it is heard and fulfilled and carried out. So definitely looking at, and this is the thing, people always say, well, I don't have anything, but a lot of times you do, whether it be the place that you live, your car that you drive, the clothes that you wear, the jewelry that you have, just things that you have in your possession, right? Somebody could have left you something, and now we have to figure out what's going to happen with that. So you just want to make sure that there's a conversation or something written, whether it be a video, some way you've talked to an attorney, and just gotten all these things cleared away, because it is so important. Again, you don't want the bickering within your family trying to figure out who's going to get what.
Right, for sure. Have you had that experience?
No.
With anyone, not necessarily recently or anything, but I'm just saying, ever in life where it's been, or just been in proximity of someone, where they had to struggle and fight with people around them because they were being greedy and ignorant.
Yeah, I've never dealt with somebody wanting things, so to speak. Now, ideas are a whole nother thing. People can have different ideas about what they want to see happen. And so I've had conflict regarding ideas just with that. I feel this needs to happen. They may feel that needs to happen. And because there was not a final say so, we both had to come to an agreement, but it didn't necessarily make it easy for us because we both felt strongly about what we wanted.
Yeah.
So even in that, you are having to consult with the family members around you. If it's somebody in your immediate family, you do have to consult with the people around you and make sure that you are just carrying it out in a peaceful way, because the goal is for us to lay this person to rest at peace. So it should not cause a bunch of discord or disharmony. So, and this is the other thing too. It's always hard for people to give authority to the husband or the wife that's left behind. That's what I've noticed. People just feel like because they're a sibling or a child even, that they have more say so. And I'm going to have to say every situation is different, but what I believe is whoever the spouse is always has the foundation, the final say so. That's my thought about it, but everybody doesn't agree with that, because sometimes the relationships are short-lived. Like, say for instance, you were married for only 2 or 3 months and you pass away, but your children have been with you and your siblings have been with you, so they may feel like they have more authority to give direction. So it's so many complicated scenarios that could come up, but that's why it's so good to deal with them on the front end as opposed to the aftermath.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so many different. That's why I say you have to evaluate the situation and pray that the Lord gives wisdom.
Yeah, now if, say, even with my dad, if he got married and then 2 months later he passed and she feel like she finna say, will she like have say over it? Like, girl.
But again, that's how you feel, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that has any value when the situation would come.
I know, it's just crazy to think about though. Like I didn't even think about it. It could be a short time because you think when you think husband and wife, you think long time, longevity, but sometimes it ain't.
That's right. You just never know. Life is so unpredictable.
For sure.
And so that's why we're having this conversation, is because there's so many different things that could possibly happen. And if you don't get those things communicated and there's not something for us to go by, then it leaves us to figure it out. And what can happen can be just foolery.
Yeah. Straight foolery. No, and I've heard a lot of crazy situations. People do just act out of character when somebody passes. And I think it's just because they know that that person isn't here anymore and they can't say something. But that's insane to me. I feel like that's just taking advantage of a situation and not in a good way, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you would not be doing this if this person was here.
Exactly. And that's the thing. You want to enter the conversation with a lot of sensitivity, a lot of openness.
Yeah.
And just being willing to hear and listen. You know, we all want to weigh in on what we think is right or what should happen or what have you. And again, I cannot stress enough pre-planning, having these conversations, or making sure that it is communicated so clear to someone where it is valid, where there's some actual there's paper trails that show that this was something that actually took place, because we can all come up with, well, they told me that they wanted this, and then somebody else can say, well, they told me they wanted that. I've had that situation happen before, and we all had a conversation with the person that was passing, but for whatever reason, we had individuals that had different recollections of what the demise said.
Write it down.
Right. So it needs to be recorded somewhere.
Yeah.
If it was actual, because again, he said, she said, can cause a whole lot of frustration and fights.
I would say even too with like social media accounts. Like say you're an influencer and you have a huge account, or YouTube's, or because there's a lot of content creators now. So that's a lot. You know, to have a huge account with a lot of followers and stuff like that.
So do you mean like, so somebody has to manage it now, or does it end, like what?
It depends. Some people manage it. Some people take it for themselves and just make it their own page. Or, so it's literally would be up to them to like, are you going to keep this going?
Got it.
Or what?
Right. Wow. Again, that's a whole nother world. Social media and technology. With losing someone, that's a whole nother scenario.
Exactly.
Just trying to figure out now who manages these things. You were doing it, but now who's going to take it over? So it's just so many aspects.
No, literally.
To deal with when it comes to
okay, so tell us what you would want.
Exiting life.
Yeah.
So, you know, my father decided to be cremated. I don't know if I want cremation anymore. That's
really?
I don't know. However, I don't want to be at my funeral.
Yeah.
That's a absolute not.
Right.
I don't want to be at my funeral. I don't want to be seen by people once I'm gone.
Yeah.
I would rather have big photos, body-sized pictures, and videos of things that dealt with my life, my excitement, my joy. I want people to enjoy themselves, knowing that we had a great time, that our memories were so increditastic that we came to talk about them, and we came to uplift, celebrate my life. Like, literally celebrate my life by celebrating the memories that have happened in our lifetime.
Yeah.
So that is something that I know for sure. I don't want things to be expensive. I don't think it makes sense for people to spend a lot of money on a funeral. I know people do it, like they do these great carriages and caskets and all those things. I care about nothing when it comes to those kinds of things. I definitely want to I haven't done the will my own self, but I know that is something that I am going to make a point to do, just to share my things with my children and my husband and my family. Wanting to spell that out. But again, if you see me at the funeral, you know somebody did not do what I said.
That's
because
so
I should
funny.
Not be there. You understand what I'm saying?
Everyone knows at this point.
That's all I'm saying.
What colors? Would you do red and
I
purple?
love red and purple.
Right.
I love red and purple. So those are I have a lot of favorite colors, but red and purple have been my long-term favorites. I've fallen in love with teal blues, and I love black and white. So, even if y'all did an array, I would be fine with that, just because I just
You're
say
a colorful person. Yeah, you're a colorful person.
That would be my thought process.
Yeah.
Don't try to limit it.
Right.
Just be colorful. Have fun with it.
No, that's very true.
But yeah, I would just want people to see the visuals. I've made a gazillion videos of different dumb things that I've done to make people laugh. I would want those things shown because, again, I would want people laughing, but I do know that people must take off work. They must celebrate the whole day around me.
Fly in.
Yeah, fly in.
All the things.
Have a band. Like, I was just at a funeral where they exited the funeral with a band, and I thought, I like all that.
So that's more tradition that they do in Louisiana.
Yeah, I love that.
Where they walk out and have the whole band. That was really cool to see.
I love that, and I thought, this is what I'm talking about. People left uplifted, and they were dancing.
Yeah.
They were celebrating.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That kind of drama, I'm down for. So just know that. I don't want a lot of people talking, but I do want people that are going to be bringing funny stories.
Yeah.
Because I've had a lot of relationships with people that I've done some really fun stuff with. So I would want them to talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just fun.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Having a blast.
Sounds like you.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, Chyna, what are you okay with?
I would say that I'm okay with whenever my time comes. That being my time.
Well,
and I'm gonna be with Jesus. So I look forward to that. I'm not afraid of death.
Yeah.
And
that's a good thing.
It's gonna happen regardless. So yeah.
That's good. And I'm okay with that too. I am okay with going to be with the Lord, period.
Yeah.
So whenever that time comes, whenever the Lord calls me, however soon, however long, I am READY. I have given my life to the Lord a long time ago. So to be with Him,
Yeah.
woo!
Yeah.
Hallelujah. So with that being said, we're going to end on that note. And just thank you all so much for tuning in and joining in with us once again. Give us your experiences. Give us your thought processes on how you feel about this topic.
Yeah.
And let us know if you are doing the planning. It is a hard conversation, but we need to have it.
Definitely.
So share with us some of your experiences if you don't mind.
Yes, and make sure y'all are coming and watching us every Wednesday at 9 a.m. And you can also listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Make sure y'all are liking and subscribing.
Yes.
Heavy on the subscribing.
Heavy on the subscribe.
Okay, but we look forward to seeing you again next week. Okay then.
Okay then.
Okay then. Bye then.